Each of us picked 4 golfers. You couldn't pick one of the top 10 favorites. And then you got the prize money totaled up, and the loser, the guy who had the least amount of money for his 4 golfers at the PGA Championship, gets 24 eggs poured on his head today. So Paulie will do that shower of shame. I, of course, picked Justin Thomas, as I normally do when it comes to the majors, whether he's a favorite or not, and then he comes through in flying colors. So thank you, Justin. You prevented me from getting 24 eggs poured on my head. Thank you.
You know, I've never been able to say you're welcome for not getting eggs dumped off your head, but you're welcome.
Did you know that I picked you going into the final round, and did that have any impact on your play?
You know, the word was spreading around the range that you had, and I knew that I needed to kind of take it to another level to prevent any sort of humiliation for you. So I was thinking about you going down the stretch there.
Are you at home today?
I am.
Okay, now this is what I'm thinking, because Fowler lives just down the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have Ricky come over, and then you have the championship trophy there. Maybe not on the front step, but like the kitchen table where you have to look around the championship trophy to talk to him. Just to, like, can you rub it in a little bit since he is a good buddy?
Yeah, that trophy's pretty much been either in my lap, in my arms, or next to me ever since I took it home with me yesterday. And Ricky and I flew home together, so he was he's a good sport about it. I mean, I've been in the position before where you're you're really, really happy for your friend, but you're also jealous, and you get to celebrate it a little bit with him. But he's been a good sport about it, so I won't be too aggressive toward him.
Can you put beer in the trophy?
You sure can. The word is you can fit 42 in there. I'm probably going to wait a little bit to see how many will fit in there because I have a couple of days to unwind and then get back to practicing. So I'll get back to you come maybe October, November.
If we had a beer event, though, with the pros where you had to drink while you were playing, who's the number 1 seed?
I mean, I think you have to go with John Daly.
Yeah, that's yeah. He's the Jack Nicklaus of that event.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be the captain of the A team if we're picking.
Yeah, if we did like a President's Cup or a Ryder Cup, I want Daly. Daly would be my number 1 pick there.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
I think he's top of my list too.
All right, a couple of things. When did you know that? I believe it or not, I thought the biggest shot you had is on the first green where you kept away from a double bogey and you just had a bogey and you sort of survived the first hole. I know everybody looks at the back 9 and the whole green mile and everything. I look back on that and went, your whole round could have come crashing down on you at that first green. What did you think of that putt at the time?
It was huge. That's like you said. I mean, that was. You never know what happens if I miss that putt. I mean, I'd like to think that I could. I was mentally strong enough to where I could have overcame that. But then again, that was a big stage, and yeah, it happened at the U.S. Open. But I still wasn't as familiar with it as maybe some others. And I mean, I was just trying to, I was trying to just kind of minimize the damage like you have to do out there. I mean, bogeys are hard to make up, but doubles are really, really hard to make up. But of course, they're difficult. So. It was just about, trying to minimize the damage and trying not to give up 2 there when really I was in a great position to make a par. So that was, although it was a pretty bad bogey after 2 shots or after the drive, but it was a great bogey looking back at it.
How long are you allowed to wait before you go up to, the putt where it's hanging on the lip? What, is it 10 seconds that you're allowed to have? What is the universal rule on that, or is there one?
Yeah, so you're allowed 10 seconds to once you're there. So, I mean, you basically can, kind of like I did, how I was and shocking and all, whatever, but away from the ball, that's fine. But then once you go up to the ball and you're basically addressing it or about to finish it or waiting at the ball, then you're allowed 10 seconds. And I was fortunate that I didn't even get to that point. I was glad that it fell in beforehand.
Could you ask the gallery to make noise? Could you have signaled to them, like, make noise? Are you allowed to do that at that point?
That's a good question. hopefully I'll just try to make putts in the middle, and I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but I wonder, because it looked like Hideki Matsuyama already wrote down what your score was.
Yeah, it was bizarre. It really was, but it was something to where once it kind of crept up on the hole and once it sat on the lip there, as weird as it was, I had a feeling it was going to drop at some point. I really did, because it just, you can tell when a ball's sitting on the lip and it's not going to go in, and you can tell when it has a good chance, and this one looked like it had a good chance because of the slope of the green's going that way and the grain was going that way, so everything was kind of trending that way or hoping that it would fall, and I was just happy that it did.
He's Justin Thomas, PGA champ, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. You ever play golf with Nick Saban?
I haven't actually played a round of golf with him, but I've spent a lot of time on the golf course with him. I mean, I guess I played a couple holes with him, and I've been around the range around him a bunch, but never a full 18 holes.
Is playing golf in the SEC similar to playing football in the SEC as far as the spirit competition level?
I know one thing: our bodies probably don't hurt quite as bad that next morning as those guys do. I mean, there's some big boys in the SEC in football, and I mean, I remember my recruiting visits or now going back to games and going down on the field before the games and just watching those guys warm up. And I mean, the fact that they're 18, 19 years old, and I mean, they could legitimately just pick me up and throw me, or it just looks like they could eat me if they wanted to, is absurd. And it's so deep, and SEC was strong in golf when I was in college, and I'm sure it's going to continue down that road.
They probably look at you as a kicker, maybe, if you showed up.
More like a water boy, I would say.
Did you know that was Jordan Spieth hitting you in the slapping you on the butt after you won?
I didn't. I honestly didn't. Everything was pretty much a blur after that last putt went in, and I had about 3 hours of media at the course afterwards, and just kind of hanging around and doing different stops here and there, and it was just all blur. I was basically a zombie when I walked out of there. I didn't know who I was, what had happened, and I just know that I was tired and I wanted to get home and sleep in my own bed. And it was I didn't know that he did it. I turned around and once he said something, and I saw him, and then I saw the video, I think, from somebody.
That was pretty funny. How many times in the last 10 years has Jordan Spieth hit you in the groin?
You know, even if I did know the answer to that question, I don't know if I'm still answering it.
Well, the fact that he wins the Open Championship and then gives his caddy a cup check after he wins.
Yeah.
On camera.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. We busted his chops pretty good for that one, and his caddy.
But do you pull pranks on him, or does he pull pranks on you? Who's better at it?
I mean, the thing about Jordan is I pranked him. I mean, we'll mess around and pull jokes on each other, but I pranked him a little bit more than usual, like my rookie year, and then he got me back really good by moving my car from the courtesy car lot into a different lot because I parked in his parking spot, and he assumed it was me, and he moved my car. So that's the thing about Jordan, is he's going to go over the top and overreact. So I kind of can't go there with him because he's one of those. He's like that 6-year-old that, you know, your little brother, when you kind of push him, he retaliates a lot worse. So I kind of don't want to go there anymore with him. We just kind of poke fun at each other.
Could you take him if you had to?
Absolutely not. He's a lot bigger than I am.
But you hit it a lot farther than he does.
Yeah, I guess I don't know why or how. I mean, he's gotten a lot longer these last 3 or 4 years, and he's put a lot of muscle on, a lot of weight on, and I've been working hard in the gym this year to try to get stronger in certain places. And it is weird how I hit it farther than a lot of people who are bigger than I am, but he's definitely getting up there.
Congrats. A lot of fun there yesterday, and the fact your dad was there to see it as well. And good luck the rest of the season, Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on, man.
That's Justin Thomas, PGA golfer. I believed in him. Nobody else did, as I picked him to win the PGA Championship.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.